Hello and welcome to Aces Golf and today's review that has been released 12 a.m. UK time on a Friday, which can only mean one thing. I'm looking at a new club for 2024, as you probably already guessed because you've obviously clicked on this video. And the club in question is this, the Qi10, the standard version, so not the max, so not the ultimate forgiving one, and not the LS version either, the low spinning sort of bomber. Very much middle range driver that is going to be the one for the masses out there. And that's why I wanted to pick it up and review it for you guys. This is very much the middle driver. I played the Stealth 2 a lot last year, really enjoyed it. Changed this year to the Dark Speed X. Maybe I don't really know why, because I was getting on with the Stealth really well, but I did change. But I wanted to give the Qi10 a go. A lot of people have been raving about this year. And so I wanted to get my hands on it, and so I can do an honest review for you guys and say, is this really better than the Stealth 2? Like I said, I played the Stealth 2 last year, did a review of it. Check it out on the channel. Like I said, really enjoyed that club. Nearly put the Stealth 2 Plus in the bag this year as well. Just did a review of that a couple of weeks ago. Really enjoyed that. And I just want to know, for me, being that more sort of average golfer, low handicap at the moment, 8.2, is it worth going for this new driver, or should you just be happy with the one you've got in the bag? And that's why I picked it up, and that's what we're basically going to come to a conclusion at the end of the video, deciding if it is worth getting this, or if you should just basically stick the one that's in the bag that you've had for years and it's still working for you. And I will say this as well, do remember to subscribe to the channel, because I will be putting this Qi10, so the normal standard version, against the legendary Sim 2 Max. So I'll be really interested to see how this performs against this club, which, let's be honest, was one of the best clubs that Taylormade have released over the past couple of years. So do remember to subscribe to the channel so you do not miss out on that. Okay, now as always, we're going to have a closer look at the club. Then we're going to come back here, talk about all the technology that's in here, and then we'll come back. Well, then we'll go to the range, throw some figures at you, and then we'll come back here for the Aces Golf Scale. All right, let's have a closer look at this club. So there you go, a closer look at this club. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people out there will really like the look of it. There you go, the reflection of the sun that's coming into my office at the moment. Nice sunny spring day in the UK right now, which is glorious. But for me, I'll get into looks later, but for me, I definitely personally preferred the look of the Stealth, and I'll explain why when I go through the Aces Golf Scale after all of this. Now let's get into the technology that's in this club. So the Qi10, the quest for inertia. Our goal with the Qi10 family is to make each driver as forgiving as possible using advanced multi-material construction to increase inertia. The Qi10 is engineered for balanced blend of distance and forgiveness. Now do not be fooled by the name of this club. It is a Qi10, so quest for inertia 10, so MOI of 10,000. A lot of drivers have been pushing that this year, even though Ping, in some of my recent reviews, will know that they actually hit it pretty much over the past couple of years already. But Taylormade haven't. And, this was the year that they really wanted to try and hit it, and they did hit it. They did hit MOI of 10,000 in the Qi10 Max. This, even though it has the Qi10 name, does not hit 10,000 MOI. It's actually 8,500 MOI. So be aware of that. Just because it says it's a quest for inertia 10, this doesn't hit 10,000K. No, it's 8,500, which for very much, your driver that's looking to blend good distance with good forgiveness, it's not bad, to be fair. So not bad, but 8,500 for this. Going into all the way into all the technology now, they say in complete performance. So wrapped in a clean, confident package, the Qi10 driver has been strategically engineered to help players optimize distance and enhance forgiveness. There you go. It features lower CG projection and higher MOI than its predecessors, delivering balanced performance without any trade-offs. And this is the one thing that Taylormade have been trying to do over the few years. They were really always getting that distance up. Same with the Sim. Sim was very good distance. And then they brought the Sim 2 out that had the same distance, but the forgiveness. They brought the Stealth out with the red face, first carbon face ever did. Decent distance, but forgiveness wasn't really there. And they really improved the distance, improved the forgiveness, in the Stealth 2. It was a very forgiving driver, I found. Really enjoyed it. And had that forgiveness slogan. And then they're trying to do that again this year, increase that forgiveness even more. Because when it comes down to drivers, they're already at the capacity of what they can do with these clubs. So distance wise, you're going to struggle to really improve the distance from year on year on year on. You really are. But you might be able to increase a little bit more of that forgiveness so that people are a little bit more consistent. So then, you can give it to testers and they'll go, well, great, I've hit this on average 300 yards, while my other one I hit, 295 yards. The difference with that could just be the forgiveness, just because they're starting to miss a few of the bad shots, didn't drop off as bad as the others. Doesn't necessarily mean right at the middle it's as long as the predecessors. So, the older club isn't as long, but it does mean they're just trying to edge out that forgiveness so that you are getting higher average distances, not necessarily the long shot. So there you go. So moving on, now we have the new Infinity Carbon Crown. An Infinity Carbon Crown covers 97% of the total crown area, creating a strategic advantage of mass redistribution and enhanced forgiveness. At address, it delivers a sleek and clean view that pairs with subtle alignment cues, setting the stage for confidence and success. So more carbon on the top obviously means they can redistribute the weight and therefore add higher MOI by putting weight in more strategic areas. Basically, previous models, you had that sort of the sachet over the top there, so the carbon didn't come all the way up to the face. They've now changed that. But obviously with those, with the Sim, for example, Sim 2, there you go, there, it did help with alignment, I personally think, as well. That's why I really enjoy the Stealth 2. And what they've done is they put this little line here so that you still have that sort of alignment when you're looking down with it. Also with the Taylormade logo there to make sure that you are squaring it up correctly. Moving on, improved energy transfer. The third generation of the 60 times carbon twist face boosts a significant lighter face than traditional titanium constructions. This engineering feat reduces forward weight and maximizes energy transfer at impact for better ball speeds and preserved performance on off-centered hits. An evolved support structure bonds the face and protects ball speeds on off-centered hits. So all about forgiveness there with this carbon face. It's the third time they've done it. Obviously you had Stealth 2, and this club. They keep on saying they're refining the process, which I'm sure they are. It's quite a new relative process there. Is carbon face the way forward? Clubs have tried carbon face years and years ago. A lot of the other club, manufacturers aren't picking up on this at the moment. So wait and see if they do stick with it for years to come. The Stealth and Stealth 2 have had problems with the carbon face sort of popping out. But the idea is obviously there again, weight saving, isn't it? Moving it all around, and it is getting there. I definitely will say the feeling of this has improved. Every single year this carbon does feel nicer and nicer. Moving on, proven tailor-made technology featuring staples of tailor-made driver performance. A Qi10 allows you to fine-tune loft and face angle with 4 degrees loft sleeve. So I got this 9 degrees. I can loft this up to 11 degrees, and I can loft it down to 7. Lofting it down to 7 though will open the face up a little bit, just be aware, and lofting it up to 11 will actually close the face a little bit. It's not like some of the others, sort of like Titleist, where you can loft it up and down, not as much, but they don't close the face, opens the face. So there you go. Furthermore, the through slot speed pocket, this has been there for years now. It's a cornerstone of Taylormade technology and continues to preserve ball speed for optimum performance on low strike. So there you go. Been there for years. I can't imagine ever going to get rid of it because it works. It really does. And obviously you've got that twist face technology there as well that they said. So do be aware of that. Some people like the twist face, others do not. The idea of it's basically to help you keep the ball straighter. Going into the specs, so you can get this in 9 degrees, 10.5 degrees, and 12 degrees. 9 degrees right hand and left hand, 10.5 degrees right hand, left hand. 12 degrees only right hand though, so I was quite surprised by. Volume 460cc, fantastic. Swing weight D4, length 45.75, so very standard there. Alrighty then. Now, let's get down to the range. I'm going to throw some figures at you, and then we're going to come back here for the ACS golf scale. Right, see you in a bit.
So here I am down at the range. Now remember, with a driver I'm looking for an average around 250 total yards and ball speed around 150 miles per hour. Now with the case with this driver, I had a carry on average of 237 yards, total distance of 259 yards, ball speed 150 miles per hour, launch angle 13, height 78, and a swing speed of 98.8 miles per hour on average. So really happy with that. I mean, the longest on the day was a total carry of 253 yards, a total distance of 270 yards, ball speed 151 miles per hour, and a swing speed of 101.2 miles per hour. So very happy with the performance, and exactly what I'd expect, to be fair, from Taylormade. You know, they've been making some really great drivers over the years, and I just find that with these clubs you can really push it for some amazing performance. Now, forgiveness is pretty good. I mean, I think I only had one or two drop down below the 250 mark, which is great. Ball speed stayed up there a lot. I mean, the lowest ball speed I had was 147, so happy.
Going some really good figures with the club, which, being a modern day Taylormade driver, I wouldn't expect anything less. They are very good at what they do, and is why a lot of people use them. You know, on average, 237 yards carry, really happy with that. 259 yards total distance, really happy with that. Ball speed 150 miles per hour, great, spot on. Launch angle 13, really happy with that, to be fair. You know, I did loft this up to 11 because I do tend to loft my clubs up because of my swing pattern. So still got 13 with sort of 1 degree less than I sort of normally play. Really happy. Height 78 feet. You know, swing speed 98.8 miles per hour as well. Do tend to find I can swing a little bit harder with these clubs. Taylormade. Same with the Stealth 2 actually. I did get some good, you know, swing speed with there. You know, fastest on the day being 101 miles per hour swing speed. So happy with that. You know, longest on the day, 253 yards carry, 270 yards, you know, total distance, 151 miles per hour ball speed, you know, launch angle 15, high 96, really nailed that. So really good figures. Now let's go through the ACS golf scale now. So remember, distance, feel, looks, price and forgiveness, 1 being the worst, 5 being the worst, sorry. And I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to mention what I rated the Stealth 2. Because for me, the Stealth 2 was a lovely driver last year, really enjoyed it. But I want to really come down to conclusion, is this a lot better than the Stealth 2? Is it worth going out and buying brand new over keeping the Stealth 2 in the bag if you're currently playing one? So we'll go into that. So distance, I've given it 4 out of 5. Same as the Stealth 2. The Stealth 2 I gave a 4 out of 5. I was getting sort of the same figures with the Stealth 2. I think the longest I've hit with the Stealth 2 is about 279. So not as long as this, but again, you know, I'm not saying I can't hit that with this at all. Not at all. I think this is just as long as the Stealth. Do I think it's longer? Maybe on average, perhaps, but definitely not enough in my mind to move up to 4.5. For me, personally, I think it's very similar when it comes down to the distances with the Stealth 2. It really is. You know, I'm not one of these people who's going to say, go and buy a brand new driver. It's just giving me 10 yards, because it really hasn't. It really hasn't. So for me, very similar with the Stealth 2. It might have eked out a few extra yards there, but really not noticeable from the day, to be fair. You know, I wasn't hitting this thinking, oh God, this thing's 10 times better than the Stealth that I used last year. Really wasn't. Moving on to feel. The Stealth 2 I gave a 3.5. This I've given a 4, actually. I do think the feel is a little bit better than the Stealth 2. They were really cracking it with the Stealth 2 with that feel with the carbon, and they definitely improved it with this. And it just feels a little bit more stable as well. So yes, there you go. You know, happy with that. Looks, I've given this 3.5. The Stealth 2 I gave a 4.5. Actually, let me just double check that. Stealth 2, yep, 4.5. I prefer the look of the Stealth 2. Do not get me wrong. That's why I was looking around in a second. This head cover, oh, is awesome. Not too sure about the name Qi10, by the way. Really not a huge fan of that. But the head cover is such a beautiful head cover. Really gorgeous. The head cover, this wins over the Stealth 2, definitely. But looks, Stealth, I really like the shape of it. I liked the bottom of it as well. I also like the red. With this, I'm giving it 3.5 out of 5. I don't think it's a bad looking club, I don't, but I'm not a fan of that more round sort of look. I'm more a little bit more compact and a little bit more sort of pear shaped perhaps, which just felt like the Stealth was a little bit, not so round like that. Definitely for the bottom of the Stealth too. I like to have something a bit more like that. Like that just sort of feels like it's just not really central for me. I know exactly why they've done it, obviously, because they've got the weight at the back and everything like that for more forgiveness. But I don't really like the way of it, and I just feel like it's a little bit more of a bigger profile than the Stealth 2, obviously because they're trying to get that more forgiveness there. But overall, I prefer the look of the Stealth 2. I just did, but that is me. Some of you guys will be looking at this and much preferring this, especially the fact it's more of a subtle colour, that dark blue rather than the glaring red that was the Stealth 2. So 3.5 out of 5. Not a bad looking driver, but not quite like the Stealth 2 in my mind. And also mentioning all this while I was looking at the bottom, carbon on the bottom there, by the way, just like the Stealth 2. Weight there for, help to keep the ball a little bit straighter, and a big weight at the back there, MOI, and help launch. And that's the thing about nowadays with all these technology sort of sheets they give out. They don't necessarily talk about the old stuff they keep on using. But there you go. Thought I'd just add that in. Moving on to price. Stealth actually gave a 2. I don't know why, but I did. Price for this, I give it a 2.5. When it comes down to price, and I'm looking at brand new drivers, unlike my other reviews, where I'm sort of looking at second hand or brand new, because a lot of the clubs I look at, you can still buy brand new, but you can still, they're a year old or 2 years old, so you can pick them on the second hand market as well. With this, bringing brand new for 2024, I'm only concentrating on that brand new price, and for me it's a 2.5 out of 5. It's exactly where it should be. It's no cheaper than the others, and it's no more expensive than the others, really. I mean, over here in the UK, you're looking about £499. US, you're looking just under that $600 mark. Titleist TSR2, which is similar, be 529, so all right, another £20. Ping 430 Max 10K, on the other hand, is an extra £50, a little bit off there. But a Callaway AI Smoke, which again is one of the best drivers out there at the moment, is the same price, £500. So 2.5 out of 5 is exactly where it should be. And in the second hand market, I will just add, it is holding its value pretty well. So do be aware of that. Now on to forgiveness. And forgiveness, I've given it 4 out of 5. And I gave the Stealth 2 a 4 out of 5. It's got loads of forgiveness in there. You're talking about 8.5k MOI. For your average golfer, it is perfect. It's stable, but it's not the most forgiving driver out there. It's not the Taylormade Qi10 Max or a Ping, for example. It is what it is. It's built for maximum distance, but also good forgiveness. And that's the case with it. 4 out of 5 is very good forgiveness, do not get me wrong, but it's definitely not, in my mind, an improvement from the Taylormade. Not enough for me to go and go, oh, this is really forgiving. Still had some of my bad shots. Still had, actually, to be fair, all of them stayed above 250. Not bad. Oh no, there you go, 249. There we go, 249. Did have a few that fell over the, went under the 250 mark there. 249 there. Exactly the same with the Stealth 2, to be fair. However, I will add, I do think there is a little bit more forgiveness in this than over the Stealth 2. Not enough to bring it up to 4.5, but if I was doing 0.25 increments on the ACS Golf Scale, which I don't really want to get into because then it might be a 4.25. So same version as the Stealth 2 is in forgiveness, 4 out of 5. But like with distance, maybe this would just have a little bit more. So do be aware of that. So there you go, the end of the ACS Golf Scale. And what can I say comparing this to the Stealth 2? Well, I've gone through the whole thing. The numbers are pretty much exactly the same. 4 out of 5 for distance, 4 out of 5 for forgiveness. Feel, yes, this is better. And it just goes to show yes, this might be a little bit further on average. Yes, this might have a little bit more forgiveness, but your average golfer isn't going to know that. I mean, if you go for a fitting with this and you haven't been fitted in your previous driver that say you brought the stuff to off the rack, then this is going to go further because you're being fitted for it. But if you got fitted for your Stealth 2 and then you go and get fitted for this, I'd be shocked if you find a huge amount of difference in this. Unless your swing has changed and you're swinging faster, maybe they changed the shaft, which could be one of the main points. Maybe put that shaft in the old Stealth 2 and you might be getting the same distance. And this is the thing about modern drivers, they all great because this is a great driver. Do not get me wrong, it's really good. One of the best performing drivers of this year that I have tried. But there's not that huge amount of difference between the previous models. So if you're looking for a big jump up, go and get yourself fitted. If you haven't been fitted, that'd be one way to really improve your distance with your drivers. Or go and get yourself a lesson. Don't go and buy a brand new one for £500 and think that's going to give you the extra distance, because it probably won't really. If you kept it and did the figures in and out, you probably notice it's relatively the same. If you've got a modern day driver, though, I will say that. So one that's 3, 4, 5 years old. And it's the thing, a lot of the reviewers out there, such as myself, is now saying, these things are great. You don't need to be going out and buying a brand new one every year. Yes, I have the brand new Dark Speed X. I got rid of the Taylormade Stealth 2. But basically, the reason for that wasn't quite getting on with the Stealth 2, which would probably be the same for this, just with my swing. But mainly because it's a nice brand new shiny driver I think looks really cool. And it's the same thing with this. If I was still with the Stealth 2 and I put this in the bag, because it's a brand new shiny driver, and it's got really cool head cover, I wouldn't be putting it in a bag because I thought the performance was that much better than the Stealth 2. I really wouldn't be. And so there you go, guys. There is my review of the Qi10 standard model, from 2024. Do I think it's a great driver? Yes, I do. Of course I do. Do I think it's worth you forking out £500, $600 to get this if you've got, say, the Stealth 2? I don't. I really don't. I don't think there's enough difference with it. You will see reviews out there, they probably do say that. And maybe they've worked it that they have done it and it is that much longer for them. But for me, no. The figures are good, but on the day, I know if I had the Stealth 2 in the bag, figures would be similar, if not exactly the same. All right, guys, now I hope you enjoyed that review. Do remember to give this video a like. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on any more reviews. Obviously, we've got another review coming out this Sunday. And do comment down below, do you change your driver every year? If you do change your driver every year, do you notice a difference? I'd love to know down there, because personally for me, like I said, I do change my drivers just because I like something shiny and new. But a lot of my friends and a lot of the guys I play golf with who are very good golfers still have the same drivers. I know someone who's still playing the M2, loves it. It's never going to change it. All right, guys, I'll see you soon for the next HCS golf video. Bye bye.